Let's get gangster. One Piece chapter 1167. 5 years later, everybody's still talking about the turf war that happened on God Valley. They thought it was gang related, but no, it was world government related. They're behind it all. After King Harald got jumped in and put on, he started putting on for the set, man. He went up and down the Grand Line punishing pirates to the point that they thought he was a monster. Probably because he's freaking 1,000 feet tall. That might have something to do with it though. At this time, Kaido, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Gold Roger, they're all putting in work making names for themselves. Because they all got that dog in them. And guess what? King Harald, he got that dog in him, but he wound up becoming a lapdog for the world government. Because he's a sucker, a clown, a cornball. This is the same time when Gold Roger took over the final territory. He turned all of Los Santos green. Everybody's a family now. But yeah, at this point, this is where Gold Roger when it got knocked off. I think that Gold Roger, being that he set all this stuff in motion, he set up Rayleigh, he set up Gabbana, he set up Crocus. I think he set up Shanks. He told Shanks, yo, go get that dough fruit and go take it to my son. And he said, that's on the set. After King Harald wound up becoming a cornball and joining the world government, he put other giants on from Elbaf and made them into cornballs. Now we got a whole cornball buffet going on. So all these giants are actually joining the Navy and helping bolster their power because King Harald, and they want to get down with the world government so bad. This is what happens when you want to get down with something too bad. King Harald put in so much work for the world government and was so corny, they wind up giving him a tattoo. You know how you get a teardrop? The teardrop tattoo that they put in some work? Well, here you get a shallow sea contract. That's their version of a teardrop tattoo. You get tatted up, that's for sure. And now at this point, he's so corny, man. King Harald is basically a Cornish hen. Even after King Harald done all this, he sent about 50,000 pirates to Davy Jones's locker. They still telling him, hey, you still got to put in a little bit more work before we go ahead and make your, Elbaf, world government aligned country. They just keep dangling it in front of his face like this. Summers asks King Harald, he said, can you tap dance? He said, can you shuck and jive? And Harald says, of course. He said, you need me to grab my ankles and bend over? What else you need? Just like a sucker, a straight clown. That's King Harald, the straight clown. And at this point, Shanks is actually in the Holy Land. And he doesn't have the iconic scar over his eyes. So that tells you Blackbeard didn't have that fight with him just yet. He's getting ready to. I went back and checked it out. And I made a mistake the last chapter reaction I did of 1167. Shanks had already went to Yesop and begged him to join him. He told Yesop, I'm nothing without you. Without you on the crew, there's nothing we can do. We're sunk. We're just cornballs like King Harald. So they needed Yesop more than anybody. I don't care that Beckman is the first mate or whatever, or the vice captain, whatever. The guy holding that team together is Yesop. Shanks knew it. He says, I'm nothing without you. And begged and groveled for Yesop to join. And Yesop said, you know what? Since you called me and begged me to join your crew, he said, I'll give you a chance. While King Harald is doing all this cornballery, he actually goes to Fishman Island, goes to Ryugu Kingdom, and sees King Neptune. And King Neptune offers Shirahoshi, before she's even born yet, he offers Shirahoshi to Loki. Loki is giant, but Shirahoshi's giant as well. So everything kind of adds up. But Harald wasn't too sure at first, but it looks like he might have been thinking about getting down. People actually think that Shirahoshi is the one that's been talking to Loki this whole time. Is not. We don't know whether that's true or not. Can't really say. The person on that transponder on the transponder snail, they speak differently than Shirahoshi. Also, Shirahoshi was being called what's it, Mosa, whatever, by King Harald. But King Harald may be doing that to a lot of different people. Loki might have picked up that trait from King Harald. So there's no way to determine that that's the exact same person, even though they're calling them by the same name. Shortly after, King Harald orders the construction of the Owl School, and he wants Jaguar D. Saul to be a teacher. Fast forward 5 years, Fisher Tiger, OG Fisher Tiger, went ahead and raided Marijois. And he's starting to free some of those slaves. He actually runs into a guy's night, and it just so happens to be Shanks. Now, when he sees Shanks, he thinks there's going to be a fight. He thinks they have smoke. He thinks it's going to be beef. But Shanks cuts off his shackles. Now, at this time, Shanks does have his scars, because you can see that one of his eyes is injured. And when Fisher Tiger goes to attack, he actually grabs, the bandage that was wrapped around Shanks' eye. That means that Shanks has already fought Blackbeard recently at that point. I assume that Shanks asked Blackbeard to get down. He asked Blackbeard, he said, yo, I'm going to put you on with the redhead pirates. And Blackbeard wasn't feeling it. He said, yo, I'm throwing up my own set. I'm already with the Blackbeard gang. I meant the Whitebeard gang. He said, I'm already with them, and I can't believe you even asked. And that's how they got into a fight. But that's what I think. I think that Blackbeard was asked to join Shanks. He was one of the earlier guys to be asked to join his crew. Shanks, when he visited Whitebeard, right? He asked Marco to join his crew. That was foreshadowing to the point that Shanks would ask a pirate that's already part of a crew to join his crew. So he asked Blackbeard. Blackbeard said no. They got into a scuffle and got into a little kerfuffle. St. Garland introduces his kids, that means Shamrock and Shanks, to King Harald, and revealed that they both have a Shiloh Sea contract. Now, we've seen in other panels of the One Piece manga that Shanks had it on his left arm a few years ago. King Harald actually recognizes Shanks. It's a good thing that King Harold's so big, because if he was smaller, he'd be able to recognize him a lot better, because he got to squint to see this guy. He remembers him from the Roger Pirates, but he kept his mouth shut about it, so that's good. And he wasn't quite sure, but he remembered them. Back to Elbaf, Ida is actually on her delete bed. She's getting ready to expire. And everybody's trying to figure out what's going on. They don't know why she's getting sick. But she's getting ready to go. That's what we do know. Now, at this point, we cut to Loki. Loki is talking to one of his family members. Meaning, this guy is related to Loki's mom. He reveals that he's been poisoning Ida. And he's laughing about it. He's like, yo, we're going to take the throne, and our family's going to be the kings of Elbaf, and we're taking everything high. It's going to be so great. Loki said, yo, you just deleted my mom. Loki don't like his real mom, his biological mom. His mom is the one who stepped up. And that's Ida. His mom tried to delete him immediately. Ida didn't do that. She treated him like her own. So when he heard about that, he went wild on this guy. He started throwing up gang signs. You know what I mean? And he just destroyed this dude. He actually went ahead and, there was some collateral damage. He broke some houses, set houses on fire, all kinds of stuff. He went on a rampage. In this chapter, we see where Loki's heart is at. Now we know he's a true straw hat at heart. Also, Shanks, you could see he was struggling to say what he was saying. He was pretending like he did not like Roger and, the Blue Sea and all that. Like he loves being a celestial dragon. We know that ain't true. I think Gold Roger set that whole order in the motion. He wanted Shanks to get into the Holy Land in order to find out as much information as he could. Or Gold Roger just wanted Shanks to complete a certain mission, and Shanks thought that it was best to go ahead and get into the Holy Land in order to do it. King Harald is a sucker, and he's one of the downsides of these chapters. When he first was introduced, man, he was awesome, and now everybody's regretting. Now, like I said, and I did like a couple videos on this, I think Usopp is a Davy. I'm trying to figure out where's Usopp's part in this. Elbaf's supposed to be Usopp's arc. That's what we hear. Now, they said Wano was supposed to be Zoro's arc. It was. He got a new sword, didn't he? He got a power up, didn't he? You know, he faced almost getting deleted. He became the king of hell or whatever. You know, it wasn't as much as we thought he was going to get. We didn't get a whole lot, but it still was his arc. He still got something out of the deal. He didn't get nothing. So in this arc, we got Usopp, right? And then they bring up God's Valley. Why they bring it up in this arc? And why does Usopp look so much like the Davies? You already know. He's related some type of way. And we're gonna get our answer. And then on top of that, Shanks asks Usopp to join the crew. And we get that this happening all at that time. Come on, man, it's connected. It's connected. They're connecting God Valley to Usopp. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving this chapter a triple OG. That's only one step below Big Homie. Anyway, go ahead and leave your comments, like the video, and subscribe if you want some more anime from a hood perspective.